The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why they actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations.
Good evening and welcome back to the Blueprint Podcast. As you know, this is Lowe's Moore, and man, I'm excited to be back with you again. I mean, I think we're getting down to the end of, we're now in the NBA playoffs, right? And we've been given an overdose of basketball, man. Such exciting. From March Madness into the Final Four, both the men and women were so excited. And now we're in the NBA playoffs, and this is exciting as well. I mean, there's been some tremendous games. I mean, it's unfortunate for the Brooklyn Nets. It seems like that they're just kind of like a couple of players, couple of really veteran players away from, maybe taking their next step. I think they have done a tremendous job this year revamping their team and starting to build. They made the most out of the trade with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. They made the most out of it. They got some valuable draft picks, and they also have some amazing young talent. And man, it's just a matter of time before they take it to that next level. Congratulations. They made it to the playoffs, right? In spite of all the craziness that went on all week, all season long. And man, the NBA, the playoffs are just hot right now. And I'm enjoying it, although I'm a little tired because, I mean, those West Coast games, man, keep you up, man. By the time you get into bed, it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock. But hey, man, when you love the sport of basketball, right? When you love sports, man, you gotta do what you have to do. And I'm excited for the New York Knicks. It's been a long time that I've been able to talk about the New York Knicks, but the Knicks are 3-1 right now against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I mean, the Knicks is balling out, man. I know nobody got a complaint about the Knicks right now because they just playing basketball and they doing well. And kudos to their administration, to the GM, to the president, and the coaches, man, who have them just playing wonderful basketball, man. So this is man, I'm really excited to be on tonight, and I don't know about you guys, man, but I'm waiting. I don't know. Spring is trying to throw some tricks out here. Crazy rain yesterday, and but it's gonna get better. This is April showers, right? And May flowers. I mean, I'm looking for, and man, I was walking in the house, man, how fast, I have these bushes in the front of my house, and man, it's crazy how fast, that my flowers have bloomed, right? And one of the things, they don't last long. They last for like, barely a month. They come out, they're nice and pink and beautiful, and man, just very nice, exciting, man. And look, I'm telling you, it's just beautiful outside. I just sit outside. I took a couple of pictures of them the other day out there, and man, I just love spring, man. I just love summer, right? Man, let me tell you the other thing I love. I just love life, man, because life is just so cool, man. I'm excited about it. And we haven't trying to get our guest for this evening on on working with them now, trying to do some technical stuff. Hopefully we'll get them on shortly. But let me see here. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get rolling here now. Let me start off by dropping here goes my ball. Well, really, this is my seed, right? This is my seed. I'm going to drop it in the pond right now. You hear me? It's really a golf ball, man, but it's my seed, right? Every show I drop that seed, right? And I drop it in the pond because I'm expecting the ripple effect of the show. I'm expecting that each one of my guests, there's going to be, somebody's going to be blessed by the show tonight, man. Somebody's going to get some information. Somebody's going to be encouraged tonight from the show. And I got a wonderful guest tonight. But let me get through some preliminaries right now. I want to start out because each and every week I start out with my book of the week. All right. Flip the Switch. Right. I think you ought to get this book right here by Michael Burt. And I mean, I'm just starting to read this book. As you know, I'm reading a lot of books, man. And each week I give a book. I haven't read all the books, but I read a lot of them and I have a lot of them. Right. And this is an awesome book. If you're looking, I don't know, to be innovative, to be creative, to start a business, to start a ministry. I mean, I don't know what it is that you want to start, but this is a good book to help you flip your switch. Because sometimes people say, here's the crazy thing, because it's me too. I used to be a procrastinator, right? So, I used to say I was going to do this, and then I start writing stuff down, and then I never get to it, right? But this book is about not just thinking about something you want to do, but actually turning the switch on and getting it done. So check out that book, man, right there. That's going to be a powerful book. I'm going to start reading that book next week. I already have it. But make sure you get that book right there. Flip the Switch, especially if you start in business, right? Or you're looking to go to your next level. Make sure you get that book. And here's my word of the week. These are words. The law of perpetual transmutation, right? I know that's a mouthful for you, but it says that you have the power to transmute negative energy into positive energy by simply deciding to change it, right? Only fear and doubt can stop you from doing it, right? So you have the power, whatever negative energy you have in your life, right? You have the power to change that negative into a positive. And it's called the law of perpetual transmutation. So anytime that you change, anytime that, man, something hits you real hard, somebody gives you a blow, somebody says something negative about you, somebody talks about you, you have the ability to ignore them. And man, because if somebody says, man, back in the day, man, people used to tell, because I played sports, they used to say, hey, man, you're a dumb jock, right? Like, okay, well, I know, if you don't know what a jock is, that's an athlete, right? But, the thing is, if you say somebody says you're a dumb jock, you can believe that, right? You can believe that and carry that. Oh, I'm not smart, right? But I never believed that, right? I always believed that, man, I was a smart athlete. I was an intelligent athlete, right? So you have the ability to change the things that are negative in your life into a positive. And so here again is my affirmation of the week. The Pierce Harper affirmation. It says success starts on the inside, right? Your thinking controls your results. And that's a connection that I just made between the perpetual transmutation and this affirmation there. It says that, success starts on the inside. Your thinking controls your results. That's what you get to change your negative energy into positive energy. I mean, they connect it like that. Some of these things, man, I hope that you guys take a picture of some of these things, or you go back and look at it. Because sometimes, man, you need little things like this. I mean, that's why I give these things, because people give things to me And each and every day, I'm always looking for something to change my energy, right? Change my energy from a negative to a positive, right? So you need little comments like this, little statements like this, little affirmations like this to change the direction in which you're going, right? Because sometimes you get hit, man, you don't know how to get up, right? But sometimes, man, you think of things, man, and then you just get up because somebody says, man, hey, man, when you get knocked down, man, get up, right? So just wanted to give you that affirmation. And here is my music and my movie of the week, right? Well, hey, back a few years ago, we went to see, the Motown, the play. Loved all the music because it was Motown music being played, right? And man, I had a lot of favorite songs on that album. Right now, I'll give it a chance to go to YouTube and check that out. My man Brandon Dixon was the star of the show. Make sure you check that out. And man, and then also my movie of the week is Glory Roads. Right. You remember the first all-black team to win the NCAA championship, and we're going to continue to talk a little bit about basketball over the next few weeks, man, because we're in this end of the NBA season. But check out that music. Check out this movie. If you haven't already, right, check it out. And then let me do a real quick shout out here. I want to shout out to happy birthday to my sister, Tracy George. Many, many more. I love you, man. I hope you enjoyed it. Right. You've been an amazing sister. Hey, what can I say? You're the best. So happy birthday to you and love you. And now let's get rolling, man. I want to show you this a couple of highlights, a couple of videos, right? Check these out. And then I'm going to introduce my guest for this evening.
And now back to the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern. Commissioner?
The Detroit Pistons select Tony Campbell of Ohio State and Teaneck High School. The next pick belongs to Milwaukee.
Another great scorer from New Jersey who's going to do a tremendous job with that team. I think the Detroit team is the team of the future. They finished up very well in the playoffs, and I think they've really helped themselves with Roundfield now. They're going to have a formidable front line. They'll be able to score, and that's really is the name of the game. I think it's so important to be able to come off the bench with fellas who don't let your caliber of play go down. And Tony Campbell is an excellent scorer. He's aggressive, he can shoot well, can run well, can rebound, 6'7", who does a whale of a job. An excellent choice for that Detroit player.
In terms of present NBA players, he is compared to the style of that of Mike Mitchell, the San Antonio Spurs. Quick, he has speed, many moves, a great second and third effort. And now the small forward at 6'7" will be right behind another New Jersey ball player in Kelly Tripucka. There was thought that Detroit might have gone for a backcourt man with the strength they have up front, now especially with Dan Roundfield, acquired last night from Atlanta in return for Cliff Livingston and the rights to Antoine Carr. Well, we have Tony Campbell here along with Eddie Doucette.
All right, he's a happy guy. Tony Campbell going to an outstanding ball club, Detroit. This is an up-and-coming team in the NBA. They made the trade for Big Danny Roundfield. They cleared some room. They got rid of Livingston and the chance to negotiate with Carr. You have an opportunity to step in there and maybe give a little help over there with Kelly Tripucka.
Yes, I feel real good about Detroit, and I do not know too much about them, though, but I feel that with my abilities that I can go in and contribute all that I can to help them be a successful ball club.
They say you're a streaky shooter. Is that a fair assessment? You feel you're a little bit more consistent than that?
I think I'm more consistent than that, though, but you have the media out there who judge, basically, and they determine what's going on as far as the other people's minds and their opinions. I feel good about myself, though, and if necessary, I'll prove that with Detroit.
18.5 points a game, 51% from the floor, and on top of all of that, the word is that you've really improved your ball handling skills. You feel pretty good about that?
Yes, I do, though. I've been really working real hard on my ball handling skills, though, and hopefully in the NBA I may get a chance to play some kind of ball handling skill, whether it be big guard.
I think Detroit has arrived, young man, and I think you're going to have an opportunity to slip right in there and have some fun.
I feel real good about that. Thank you.
All right, Tony Campbell, picked by Detroit. First round, we're going.
Cooper there. He almost saw the hoop as well, as Tony Campbell will replace Michael Cooper, who did a good job to start this game for the Lakers. You know the microwave. Tony Campbell hits the basket. Campbell, a former Piston, blocking and good defense. Sally swatted it away. Inside Campbell, and he gets the layup. So Tony Campbell, who scored 12 points off the bench in the first game.
See, I like what Tony Campbell can do because he's offensive conscious. He's looking to take it, and he'll hit the open jump shot.
Campbell turnaround basket. A lot of pressure on that man's shoulder.
Yeah, I'm really happy for this young guy. You talk about a guy who has really accepted the challenge. He comes in looking for his shot every time.
Game for Detroit.
See, the Lakers have got to wait a little bit longer on Worthy.
Campbell hits a three. Tony Campbell. And here comes Rodman behind to Thomas. Chipped away by Campbell. Alert play by Tony Campbell. Thomas finds an opening, has it stripped away. Worthy. Campbell. And Vinnie Johnson fouls him with 2 seconds on the game clock. Either of whom feel like sitting down and relaxing right now.
This game is still up for grabs either way.
Tony Campbell with the basket.
My man, TC in the house.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Lowe's Moore. What's good, Lowe's?
I'm good, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. All praises.
Yeah. Hey, I have to say this, man. You know, I've known you for a little while, so you know, it's crazy, man, how the league works. Because there's no way that man, you should have been moving around to all those teams. I don't know what folks was looking at. I don't know what they was thinking about, man. You know, and I've seen a lot of great players, and I'm sure you have too, right? But man, you could ball, man. I mean, you had everything. You had everything a basketball player could want. You know, you 6'7", jump out the gym, you know, handle, could shoot the rock, right? Score the rock. I mean, power.
Chill. Listen, I appreciate it all. I really do. You know, coming from you, you know, that means so much. You know, your background, you know I'm saying, your expertise, you know I'm saying, in the game that we both love so much, a game that we shared in Albany that was very successful. You know, the time that we got to know each other, you know, it's a pleasure to be here. And please stop.
No, I got to keep it real, man. Honestly, man, you know, I had played for a while and I was coming towards the end of my career, right? Mm-hmm. And Bill Musselman, as you know, took over the Albany Patroons, and you know, we were there, and they brought you in. You know, we had an all NBA team, you know, with Sidney Lowe, Scotty Brooks, Derek Rowland, who else? Michael Brooks, Michael Ray Richardson. I mean, Todd Murphy. I mean, we had some players, and you know, and I really hadn't, you know, I don't think that I had, you know, I knew of you and I watched you play, but when you got down to the CBA and you were playing with us, you were like a man among boys. I was like, there is no way he should be here. I mean, I you know, it's been a while since I seen dominance, you know, by a player, you know, and you were dominant. Now, I don't know what the NBA was thinking, but, you know, you were masterful, man. And I had the privilege, like, And I knew I could score and, do some things I could do, I probably could say the same thing about myself, but when you got picked up, the Lakers came down there and grabbed you. Right. And, you know how Muscleman is, right? I slid into kind of your spot, right? Like the scoring spot. If y'all want to hear something out there that's crazy, Coach Bill Muscleman had about 100 plays, right?
You already know. Right?
he had about 150 plays. And we do a whole practice, right? And Tony literally had 38 plays himself, and we would run all 38 plays. I mean, and they were more than 38 plays because you have to come off that screen or whatever happened, that action, and right. You would have to hit that basket. If you did not hit that basket, he said, run it again, right? And you could be there for an hour or so just watching Tony shoot shots, make and miss. and when you got picked up, right, they didn't quite have another scorer like you. So I was that guy, right? So I stepped into your spot, right? And it was running those 38 plays for me, man. I loved it, man, because all I got to do is get in and let go.
Right.
Oh, man.
You were definitely equipped. Coach Musselman, he put the ball in my hands. But nothing I did, I couldn't have done it, without, guys like yourself, sit low, Scott Roth, Scotty Brooks, Michael Ray Richardson, all the guys though that, contributed and were there. And it was a good time. We had a good time, man, beating everybody.
Yeah, and that year we held the record for a little while. We were 70-10 in that season, and the Chicago Bulls eventually broke it. They went 72-10. And then eventually the Golden State Warriors broke it, going 73-9, right? 73-9, But before we get into some more basketball, no, just before I shift for a second, man, what's your thoughts right now on what you're seeing in the NBA currently?
To be honest with you, Lowe's, like. I'm really just starting to really tune in for the most part. The Timberwolves, I'm watching them. That's pretty much one of my favorite teams. They're down and they're down bad. You know what I'm saying? So, they're still alive, but, the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Then I look at my other teams, I look at the Lakers, I look at the teams that, I look at the Knicks and what they're doing. And I'm saying, those are the teams that I watch when I do watch, so to speak. If I'm, being too busy doing, entrepreneurial things, I'm also, learning and doing my own work with my family and people close to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course you would watch the Knicks. You played with the Knicks. You played with the Minnesota Timberwolves. You played with the Lakers, but let's digress for a second. And I know I got who's one of my pastors the other day, man, we talk often, and he's out in South Jersey. Right. And of course, he know everybody who grew up in Jersey, Pastor Marvin, and Tony Campbell, the great Teaneck player. So how did it all start, man? Talk a little bit about your family, growing up, your family, if you had siblings, talk about the kind of structure that mom or dad, and what their structure was around, like family, faith, education. Talk a little bit about that, man. Talk about a little bit about growing up.
Yeah, well, basically, I was a kid that was born in Florida, and at about 8 to 10 years old, we moved from Florida up to New Jersey. My mother, two sisters, and my brother, and we moved up north. And basically, I became a New Jerseyite going on. And from there, basically just grew up in northern New Jersey, and went to high school, and then that's how the story basically began. So I'm one of five children, through my mother, and I have a younger brother, an older brother, and two older sisters.
Yeah, and everybody's doing well.
And everybody's doing well.
That's good. Yeah, that's always good. Yeah, and so,
considering the things that we've been going through in the last 2.5 years, lockdowns and people going up against their communities and rioting and things of that nature, is kind of interesting. Very interesting times we're living in.
Yeah, it is. It is very interesting. And then end up after high school. You played well in high school, right? We got a little shot of you there, man, playing well at high school, and were you recruited by a lot of teams?
Well, my story in high school basically is I ended up being recruited by a lot of local teams. I myself love the game of basketball. Like, I didn't really take it to heart, like really being recruited. Probably, the East Coast schools, Rutgers, like Manhattan College, Wagner, came after me. And believe it or not, Iona.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got a visit by Jim Valvano. I'm saying he came to my house with a rat on a skateboard. You know what I mean? The funniest thing ever. God bless.
Yeah.
And I was at an all-star game at the end of my, my high school career. And by the way, in between, my senior year, going to this all-star game, though, I would go, I would travel as a kid in high school from New Jersey. Being a New Jersey kid, I would travel over to New York, and I would play, at Riverside. I would play at Dyckman, and I would play at all of the, very popular tournaments, and we traveled a lot. From high school on into college, and so college came about by my senior year. I was going to a North-South All-Star game, and Howard Garfinkel, the famed Howard Garfinkel.
Oh yeah, everybody knows Howard Garfinkel.
Yeah, he came in to the practice. We had a practice preparing for the North-South game, the New Jersey's best. And at the time, I'm not, really seeing what's going on or knowing, really the forecast of what schools were out there and what they were looking for. But Ohio State had just graduated Kelvin Reese. No, not Kelvin Reese. Kelvin, I believe it was Reese. if my memory, serves me properly. And they needed a guard. And so at this All-Star practice, um, um, the guy that they were going to give the scholarship to, a guy by the name of Sam Randolph, I had a hell of a practice that day. And not knowing that the head coach was about to give a scholarship to another player, I learned that instead of giving that scholarship to that player, they saw me having a very good day that day, and I ended up getting that scholarship to Ohio State. So that's how I went from Teaneck to Ohio State. And I'll
Wow.
tell that story 20 years later. Garfinkel, just giving back after I had retired from playing basketball. I went back to five-star basketball camp. And Garfinkel just pulled me to the side and said, "Yo, come here. I want to tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a story about how you went to Ohio State." I was like, "Oh yeah, you got a story to tell me, Golf?" And I'm saying, and so he told me the story. You know what I'm saying? And it was an amazing story to me the day he told me it. Though it really was. And I was like, "Wow." I'm saying the Most High works in mysterious ways, man.
Yeah.
We don't know our steps, man. We're told we truly got it, all of us.
Yeah. My wife was saying Kelvin Ramsey.
Kelvin Ramsey, not Reese, Ramsey.
Yeah.
Kelvin
Yeah.
Ramsey.
Yeah. I think when did you graduate high school?
In 80.
In 80, yeah. Because I'm thinking like both that was the year both me and Kelvin graduated, right?
Okay.
If you were a year earlier, I don't know if you wanted to be a year earlier, but I mean, a year earlier, you would have played against me at West Virginia. We played against Ohio, and I mean, you guys beat beat us by about 5 points and stuff like that, and it was a good night for me, man. I had about 38.
Yeah. What year was
Yeah,
that?
huh?
What year
That
was
was
that?
you came in 80, and I graduated in 80. Right? We didn't play. You didn't. We didn't play you in my senior year. Played you the year before you came in. Right? You
Oh, I wasn't there.
you wasn't there
Right.
yet. Nah, you wasn't there
Right.
yet.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, that because they had what's my man? What's the center? Herb Williams.
They heard. That's right.
And they had Clark, Kellogg,
And they had Jim Smith.
Jim Smith. Yeah. Yeah. They had a nice crew, man. They were very good.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would have been interesting.
But you did your thing, though.
Hey, that's why we in school, man.
Hey,
we
it's that Coast flavor. Hey, what can I tell you?
yeah, and so you end up Ohio State have a tremendous career in Ohio State, right? How did you like Ohio State, man?
Ohio State was cool. From what I can remember. For what I could truly remember of Ohio State, it was a city within a city. I'm saying we really didn't have to go many places. We were on campus and everything pretty much was kind of like right there. So we did, get out a little bit, and we had friends that were in the community that hung out in like the gyms we would practice in or play in and things of that nature, and we would meet people that were also students at the school, and get to know the place. But we, for the most part, what was the question again?
Yeah, no, I was saying, because sometimes you leave in New Jersey, right? And you're probably thinking like, man, I know about Jersey. I know about, going to Rutgers or, coming up to New York, Iona. But now you going from Jersey to Ohio, right? And like I went from New York to West Virginia. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I asked the question, because it was different. You know, you leave, you know, Mount Vernon, you go right into the city. You can go to Connecticut, you can go to New Jersey, right? And all of a sudden, you in Morgantown, right? Again, like you said, it's a city within itself. It's the school is, you know, there, and so like that's a little bit different. You know, did you find a big difference from being at home and being there?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you know, I felt like it was country, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Country, even though we were just in that small little, you know, community, we didn't have to go far for anything. You know, everything was kind of like right there, that city within that city. I did find it to be a little different from, you know, someone like myself though, who grew up, you know, northeast section of New Jersey, you know, right up, like 10 minutes from the George Washington Bridge into New York City.
Right.
A kid who grew up on 125th Street, you know, selling cakes and pies, you know, at Harlem Week.
Right,
you know,
right.
with my cousins and in our bakery and everything. But nah, you know, what can I say?
Yeah. Were you and we had this you know, talking about faith. We used to room together, right? And we were always in these discussions between Christianity, right, and being a Muslim, right? We used to have some late night, long night discussions between the Bible and the Quran. Man, I remember, you know what, I literally enjoyed those times, man, because it wasn't an adversary thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for it seemed like for me it was a learning thing.
Right.
You know, and just to hear the way you were sharing, you know, the Quran and your thoughts, you know, and how it formed your life, was beneficial to me. It helped me also grow spiritually as well. I enjoyed those conversations. We had a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing ball, but we talked a lot about faith, and we talked a lot about life, you know, and you know, so you still in the faith.
Well, you know, it's interesting because that's a real serious and deep question. As you know, as far as you know, where I'm from. What I mean by that is, yes, I am still in the faith. Um, and the faith is interesting when you have kind of like multiple dimensions of certain things that, you know, when you put them together, and I'm saying, you know, strengthen your argument, you know, when you tell others about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel that I'm in that way, you know, what I'm, you know, like what I believe is the truth, you know, right now I'm still in the faith. I believe, you know, for the most part, though, that there are chosen people of the Most High power, and He has a chosen people, and we are His people. So, in a spiritual sense, here I am. But I have been through many schools. I've been through many schools, and I've feel like I understand it to be the way I understand it now. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the now. I'm in that space now, and that now is, as a nation of people, you know, we do have a heritage. Like we do have a history. We do have a language. Um, we have a gift, which are the scriptures. which tells us of our past, our present, and our future. And many are called and few are chosen to understand that book to be what it is for us. So in terms of spirituality, that is the space that I'm in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But I always find that when I think of you, besides being a great, an amazing person, right? And just a great basketball player. Because sometimes we can only get focused on, the basketball side of it, and that's all our relationship would be. It's about basketball. But we were brothers during that time in Albany. We had become brothers, and our conversations, our daily conversations, were very powerful. And some people just don't think we think about those things, And I learned a lot from you. The time when one of the we flew down into Minnesota with one of my wife's friends. We flew down. We was talking about some insurance stuff and things like that. Because some people assume, right? I always tell people you can't assume just because a person play basketball they don't know more than basketball, right? Some people can be well rounded. And when we got down to Minnesota, we flew into Minnesota and we went out with you and hanging out. I think it was Tyrone Corbett. We all went out and then you guys was talking some stuff about finances and investments and different things like that, man. I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, the gentleman who was with me was impressed, right? Because you just can't assume that because a person's an athlete or an entertainer, they don't know about business, man. So I appreciate that, how well-rounded you are.
Well, I think, you give me too much credit. That being said, though, what you experienced, was basically, that energy of of enterprise, wanting to, be able to, have, the opportunity, to invest in things, for returns and for, for security. And so I basically walked into that and, I've, needed that, to put me where I am today. And it has gone a long way. So all those talks we had, all of those things that we went through, you learned, I see them now, in this space as there was a reason. There was a reason. There was a reason we were teammates. There were reasons. We, we had those trips to Tupelo, Mississippi, and and all those funky places. So, there was a lesson that we all had to learn in all of that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then but you get drafted by Detroit, right? As we seen, what was that like? What was that experience? Being drafted on the 20th overall pick in the NBA draft, man, and then to go to the Detroit Pistons. I mean, something you dreamt about. How exciting was it, man?
It was, it was cool. It was definitely good. It was definitely good. I kind of figured that's probably who's going to draft me, because they made me work out like 3 times. Like I left Ohio State and I had to go, to Detroit and work out like 3 times. And it was the only Philly had me work out one time. And I think that was it. and that was it though. So I said though, it's a possibility that I could. I ain't want to go to Detroit though, but and I ain't want to go. I didn't want to go to Philly because Philly had 3 picks in '84, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be one of those 3 picks. I wanted to just be solo. Solo.
Yeah.
And so what happened, you know what I'm saying? I didn't get picked by Philly. You know what I'm saying? I got picked by Detroit, 20th.
Yeah. And how was that first year? I mean, your experience with Detroit.
It was, from what I can remember, because I'm going to always have to preface it with, from what I could remember. It actually, there are times though when it was like yesterday, and then there were times though when it was like, wow, what I'm saying, that was a minute ago. But there has been so much though that I haven't, remembered. But that being said though, getting to Detroit, it was, a rookie, dealing with, the locker room, if you want to call it that, though, it was making the adjustment, though, what I'm saying, you're relocating from home, or, you used to going to college and now you're going to, a different city. So you're making a lot of adjustments. And so the first years was basically adjustment years. It's just basically a lot of adjustment years. Then you had to, and that was the macro, and then the micro was now you're in a gym with, with Isaiah and Bill Lambier and Vinnie Johnson, and guys like that. It was Earl Cureton. You know what I'm saying? It was what was his name? And a few other guys though. I don't want to embarrass myself on the name, the company.
Yeah.
Or whatever I remember though. And so those were my experiences. I experienced watching dudes getting cut, was scared the crap out of me. In Detroit, when you met like the the higher ups, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I think his name was Will Robinson. I think his name was. Will, he was always looking for a replacement, so to speak. So those were some nervous days, though. But at the same time, though, you had, I had a little, cushion, but that didn't mean nothing, though, because they could easily send you to the CVA.
Right.
So it was always, you got to, stay on your grind. You know what I'm saying? You got to, be on point. You can't never be late. You got to be professional. And I was. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, it was just a matter of, game starting and who coach was going to eventually play and when I was going to play. I think my first couple of years, though, like, I played like sporadically, like, almost like it was a 6-man. Like, if I can, I'm saying that I played, minutes, here and there. My first couple of years. Then I think by my third year, that had changed. So it went from me first getting there, making adjustments to adjustments being made, and then 3 years later, I'm still with the team, or even though it was 3 years later though that I left Detroit at that point, and I came down for a minute down to the CBA.
Yeah. I mean, why did you think that was? I mean, because I was like literally shocked to see you in the CBA. And when they call and say, hey, yeah, we're bringing on how CBA is. We're bringing on a new player. You know how and Musselman too, man. Musselman had he had the encyclopedia on players, man. And and he knew where they were. You know, if they were gonna get cut. I mean, if they were gonna be waived. I mean, he knew everything, man, about everything. And I was like, man, I was really surprised to see you in the CBA, man. And you know, when you came down, they said we we're gonna get Tony Campbell. I was like, what? Man, Tony good enough to stay in the league. What are you doing that? You know, and you came in, and I gotta go back and say it again, man. You were extremely and all of us were, but you know, sometimes it's a shock when you played at a level, you know, for so long, and then all of a sudden, like I was, you know, playing in the NBA, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm out the league, and it's a shock to go to the CBA and how you handle yourself. I mean, you came in and you handled yourself extremely well. It was like a professional.
I had so much fun. Believe it or not, man, at the Albany Patroons, man. Man, it was unbelievable. It was that journey, because we were successful.
Right.
We beat a lot of teams. We had great camaraderie. Like, oh man, I mean, all the way down the line, man. Like, we had great camaraderie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mike Brooks. You know, he was Mike Brooks. Michael Ray Richardson was Michael Ray. He was Cindy, you know.
Yeah. We had some characters, man. I mean, they were hilarious.
You know,
yeah.
Derek, you know what I'm saying? Derek Rowland. Man, who was the other guy, man, that came from Texas, man? Like, man, what was that guy's name? I can't think of it.
Well, you had Todd Murphy.
Well, we had, and then there was a kid there. I thought it came from Texas or whatever. I don't know. But, you know, because we, you know, because Muss ran through players came in and out like a month. Boy.
Yeah. Musselman was different, man. He's just a different cat, man. You know, but you know, and then you know, having that experience, right? Were you asked by any teams before you went to the Lakers? Right? Did you deny any team saying, I'm gonna just stay here with the Patroons and, you know, before the Lakers?
Well, interesting story. They called, and you know, I was like having so much fun that I was willing to play another year with the Patroons. I was ready to play another year with the Patroons, bro. Right?
Yeah.
So they wanted me to, you know, the Lakers wanted me. And so first, you know, Mitch Kupchak called me. It's like, yeah, Campbell, you know what I'm saying? We want to give you like a 10-day contract, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, man, that's all right, man. I don't want no 10-day contract. Next thing I know, I'm back down where I started. That's all right. So then I ain't speak to him. Then like another week, you know what I'm saying? He called me again. Like, Campbell, I don't know who's giving you advice, but it's some horrible advice that they're giving you. And then, and I was like, nah, man, I ain't coming up there for no, you know, for no 10-day, 15-day, whatever now. Nah, I ain't going, nah. I'll stay down here because for real, we was having a lot of fun. Michael Ray, you know what I'm saying? We was up, you know what I'm saying, we was up in Albany, you know what I'm saying? We would, you know what I'm saying, we would gather. Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying, would hang with us. You know what I'm saying? You know, we won a lot. The environment was just awesome. You know what I'm saying? And it was, you know, it was a fun time. It really was a fun time. And
yeah.
So they had to really come, come correct. You know what I'm saying? And then, So Mitch got frustrated, and so he was like, I'm gonna call Jerry. I'm gonna let Jerry call. I'm gonna have Jerry call you. You know what I'm saying? And so next thing I know, I'm saying Jerry West called me. You know what I'm saying? And then at this point, Jerry West was like, Campbell, I don't know who's giving you that advice, man, for this horrible advice, man. This is what we're gonna do. Bum, 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 bum. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you, because my argument was, we was at the end of the year, end of the NBA season, and so after that I'll be out of a job, man. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, man, y'all got to give me more than that. And so long story short, though, they gave me the rest of the year, and they gave me an extra year. So now I had a chance to be a Laker for for like the rest of the year, and that was in '86 when we won the chip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I had the next year, you know what I'm saying? That was 87, 88, and then 88, 89, what I'm saying? We lost to the Pistons. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So,
and that was the first the only guy in the same season to win a CBA championship and an NBA championship in the same season.
Now that part was crazy. That part was crazy right there. Yeah, well, that's what they say. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's trivia. Matter of fact, a friend of mine just recently told me. He said, Tone, they were, your name came up as trivia, and I think it was at a Knicks game, and I think it was that question of like who won, two championships in the same year. You know what I'm saying? For professional basketball, right? And then they tied it. I believe they tied it into this is my belief because I don't have record of it. Somebody can send that record to me.
Well, yeah, it's in Wikipedia. Okay. Wikipedia has it. That you who is it? You have it's in Wikipedia in your thing. It says right at the bottom at the end of it. Who is it? That you won the CBA championship. Of course, you wasn't there to win the CBA championship, but you was on the team. Name was on the roster. You was on the team most of the year. We won all those games, and then then you won the NBA championship with the Lakers. So yeah, you won 2 championships in the same season.
Listen, hey Lowe's, listen. Yo, I ain't say that. I ain't say it. They said it. So, what am I going to do? They said it.
No, it's there. And you did it. I mean, you literally did it. I mean, when we won the CBA championship, you won the CBA championship.
Yeah.
Somebody said, no doubt. That's a trivia question. Yeah, if you have any, this is interactive. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them up. That's a great trivia question. Who won a championship in a professional championship in the same year? There it goes right there. The first person to earn an NBA ring in 80, 87, 88, and a CBA ring with the Albany Patroons in the same season. There it goes right there.
Oh, yeah. Man. Got historians on the line?
Oh, yeah. Well, my wife is the executive producer, so, man, she could just produce stuff out of nowhere. But check this out, man.
By the way, very nice. Very nice, man. I like this. I like you look good there, Lowe's. You look good there.
Oh, bro. Thanks, man.
And you got to tell me more about the blueprint.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've been doing the blueprint. when I retired from the Boys and Girls Club after 27 years, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do in retirement. And, I had a list in 2019 of a vision board, and I had written a lot of stuff down about what I would like to do. Some things I would like to accomplish in my life, man. What's my next chapter? And it was all around communications, because I graduated in communications. And so it was all right. Public speaking, consulting, I wrote my first book. Right. And so sports consulting, things like that. But when the pandemic hit, the only thing on the list that I could actually do without leaving my house was a podcast. Right. And 2 years before that, somebody had mentioned to me about a podcast. I didn't even know what it was. So I called him up. I was like, hey, man, you mentioned me about a podcast. And then he started to tell me all the details about it and talk to me and my wife about it and told me the things that we needed. And here we are. This is the end of the 3rd season of it and about to enter the 4th season in June, season 4. And you got to find something you enjoy.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot, man.
You're looking good. Like I said, you're looking good there, bro.
I'm working at it, man. I'm working at it.
More.
Yes, sir. And check this out, man. So you with the Lakers, but somewhere down the line, right? You with the Lakers, you win a championship, you're still playing ball, and all of a sudden they start a new expansion team, right? And our crazy coach, your crazy coach, Bill Musselman, becomes the head of the head coach of the franchise, and talk a little bit about that experience, with Muss and the whole experience with the new franchise.
Well, yeah. Well, let me tell you, the backstory of that is when we were, playing for the Patroons, Coach Musselman used to always whisper to me. He used to always tell me, Tony, if I ever get a job, Tony, you're coming with me. He would always tell me that, right? He would always tell me that, though. You know what I'm saying? With with the frown on his face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it was a pleasant playing for him, and I had to just wait for him, to get his opportunity, and he got his opportunity. And next thing I know, I'm leaving LA, and then I'm going to play for Muss. You know what I'm saying, in Minnesota. So
yeah.
So that was a beautiful thing because for the first time, also, Dan White Man said he was going to do something, and he did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I ever get an opportunity, Tony, you coming with me. And he got his opportunity, you know what I'm saying, in Minnesota. And at the time, we were just beat by the Pistons. What that was, that was 80, 80, 88, 89.
Mm-hmm.
And it was time for me to look. I could have probably stayed in LA though. But that's another story. But I ended up going to Minnesota, and that was just the journey that I was supposed to be on though.
Yeah. And crazy thing is that, man, you balled out with Minnesota, and it was like it was like the CBA, it's like, we're gonna give you the ball, y'all just get out the way, we're gonna get Tony the ball, he gonna just do what he do, and that's had to be a great feeling, man, because I think we all had those moments, like in high school, we all dreamt of the moment, or we were all dreaming of the moment when we become the guy, right? We become the guy, and and because my sophomore year I wasn't the guy.
Right.
Sam Williams, Gus's brother, was the guy at Malvern High School. He was a senior, I was a sophomore, and we all like want to be that guy, Sam. Because Sam was just had the green light and doing what he does.
Right.
And then finally your turn comes, and you either can do it or you can't. Right. And I just, you just ball out, and then you go to college and you're saying like, okay, you're a freshman, and so you're waiting your turn, so that you could be that guy to get that green light again, so you could show that you could lead at that next level, man. And you do, in college you do it, and then now you're waiting for the pros. You have this, you have this gift, you have these skills. You just need somebody to give you an opportunity. Right. And when Musk gave you like the ultimate green light, man, you just ball it out.
Right. Well, at this point, at this point, though, I'm saying Musk did give me the green light. But, going through, playing for the Lakers, I had moments, right? Going through playing, for the Pistons, I had moments, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, the Timberwolves, given that opportunity, you know what I'm saying, I was really ready for it. I was kind of ready for it. So, when I got my opportunity, to play for them, then,
Yeah, and you balled out.
Muscleman, right, is a big part of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can't, I can't say, it was guys like, Sidney Lowe, you know what I'm saying, who was, getting me the ball. You know what I'm saying? Sam Mitchell, you know what I'm saying? It was, guys like that, Scotty Brooks, Scott Roth. Like I said, those guys ended up coming back, to the NBA. Most of them been giving them a chance. And, we, we balled out,
Yeah.
They balled out now. We, for the most part, didn't make playoffs, in my, years in Minnesota. But we had some big, very big games, especially the first year. We were, our arenas. We were playing in like a football stadium, basically, and then we were filling it up. It was crazy. So our attendance records was off the hook. So we were doing some special things. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
unfortunately, though, we didn't get a lot of wins, though. But we played everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I averaged what I averaged against everybody. That's why they call it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what did it make it? Like contract time comes up, free agent contract time comes up. Was it a tough decision to say, I'm gonna leave Minnesota and sign with the New York Knicks?
Well, at this point with the Knicks, I basically just got traded to the Knicks. I don't remember that, that story clearly, because it was the summertime. Let's say, my brother came in, man, and told me, "Yo, dude, you gonna be playing for the Knicks. You gonna be playing for the Knicks." You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a trade or something like that.
We ended up, man. You were averaging what you were averaging, right? Because that's the year that they brought in what's his name, Smith from the Clippers, right? What's his name? The tall kid, Charles Smith. they brought in Charles Smith. Charles Smith was averaging over 25 points a game. You was averaging with the Minnesota Timberwolves over 25 points a game. And I think it was one other person that was, and they brought this scoring power. You know, these guys who were great stars on teams that were probably struggling at the time, right? But you were leading them and being competitive every single night. And now you guys are in New York.
We got what? Wasn't that Orlando?
Blackman.
Orlando Blackman.
Yeah. The three of you guys coming into New York, man. And what was like coming, you're not at home, but you're close to home. Check this out. After you done been to Albany, you're in LA, you in Minnesota, and now you coming home.
You know, that was a blessing, you know, and kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
A curse.
I don't want to curse though. It's like a blessing and a chastisement.
Oh man.
You know, but because for me, you know, coming back home, it was like for a lot of reasons. It meant a lot of things for me. One thing it meant for me was, you know, of course, I was going to be closer to, you know, my family, my home. You know what I'm saying? Another reason was because I was going to be, for the second time, playing for, you know, a man by the name of Pat Riley.
Yeah.
So it was like a homecoming, real good homecoming. So man, let me tell you, you know, I worked my butt off, and you know, it was very good in the beginning. Like it was very good in the beginning. I trained and worked very hard doing, you know, when we first opened up, and when was this now? This would have been now. This is what is this? This would be like 89. This would be like an 89 now. So,
yeah, it's up. Yeah, close to 90.
Yeah,
let's see.
90, 92. Because I think I left the Knicks in 92. I think I left the Knicks. I know I'm dating myself now, but you know, anyway. With that being said, you know, we did what I did, what I had to do, I guess.
Yeah. And then in terms of basketball, man, I mean, do you feel like you know, after it was all said and done, did you feel like you were fulfilled? You know,
you know what I'm saying? I love the game of basketball, though. So for me personally, it didn't take big crowds of people, you know what I'm saying, to make me happy, you know, playing basketball. I just, you know, it just became a hustle.
Yeah.
It just became a hustle, man. Simply because, you know, it was profitable. It was profitable to be drafted, go to a team, be offered a contract, da 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 da. And so, you know, fortunately for me, I love the game of basketball, and that kind of came with it.
Yeah.
You know,
and do you think you know, it's a tough question, man, in terms of players today. I mean, because literally, man, we play hard when we didn't get paid. You know, and we just wanted to play. It's like the season was over in the NBA. Where was I? I was back at the boys club playing. You know, I was in the summer league playing. I mean, we love to play, man. Do you think players today have that same type of love? I mean, you probably would have played your ankle hanging off, your wrist hanging off, you know. Man, sometimes, man, guys hurt a fingernail, man, they liable not to not to play in the game. So you think the love of the game today is like we loved it in the past?
The answer is yes and no, man. Be honest with you. No, it isn't, because we, you know what I'm saying, we came up harder. I think we came up more rugged in that sense. I think these kids today they are more finessey. You know what I'm saying? Their 3-point line, they're dunking and their crossover dribble, all the time they carrying the ball. You know? Those kind of things, you know what I'm saying? Separate the generations, you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes we have to just adapt and adjust to the fact that this is where it's going. You know what I'm saying? A lot of me, I look at like sports as like nothing but entertainment. So like in basketball, you know what I'm saying? Scores need to be higher. Like in baseball, scores need to be higher. Like like any, football games, I want scores to be higher. So that's where it seems like it's going.
Yeah. And are you still, I saw maybe you've been, when you came out, when you transitioned in about what you're going to do next. What were some of the things that you thought about after getting out and started to do them? Like, was coaching one of those things? Speaking to players, working with players and stuff like that?
Well, I basically, had like a family, that has like a business mind, what I'm saying? So we always are looking for like opportunities in business, and so we set up, corporations, and we set up businesses. We were selling, cakes, and we had restaurants, and we were, fixing, um, cars for people and doing things like that, though. So we are, we come from a family of, business people like that. So,
And what are some of the things you're doing? Are you still doing those things now?
and so now, I'm basically doing the same things. Like I reach out to, like summer camps when I'm invited. Like, so in the summertime, uh, and if I get certain calls, then, I'll train. But in the summertime, basically, I may go and work at a, remember the old Kutcher's basketball camp?
Oh
Kutcher's?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I played in the Kutcher's All-Star game in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. So now it's called KSA, like Kutcher's Sports Academy.
Okay.
And so in the summer, I'm up there, training kids, and we're competing against other camps that are in the areas, and I'm training them, and lecturing them, and trying to instill in them, I'm saying, what it takes, I'm saying, to kind of level. So if I'm not doing those things, then I'm pretty much a family man. So I keep it balanced.
I like that word. I like that word balance. I keep it balanced. Yeah. Hey, so it looks like you tried. I'm gonna show you this video real quick before we get off here. Show you the video. It looked like you tried your hand at it. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. There go my man Daryl Jacobs. He said, "Please tell TC I said hello, Lowe's."
Oh yeah, tell him I
Yeah.
said
Well,
hello.
he can hear you. But check this video out real quick.
The Cleveland Cavaliers will undoubtedly be the NBA champions in 2017. But in order for them to do so, a few things need to be in place. The first thing is team health. Kevin Love, J.R. Smith must return in top form in order for them to succeed. Secondly, their bench. Corver and Channing Frye must deliver and have great impact. And third, the trade. LeBron has intimated to the team that he needs another player. And if you look at their bench with the injuries and you look at the dismal month of January when they played below 500 basketball, you can understand his concerns. So if you put all those things together, if you put health together, if you put the bench support together, and you put a trade in there, the Cavaliers undoubtedly will return as champions.
I remember doing that though, but I couldn't hear it on my end.
You couldn't hear it?
I don't know why I couldn't hear it on my end. But oh man, you gotta slow down.
Oh man, yeah. I was like, yo, Tony's doing some announcing here. Yeah. How was that experience?
I was giving it a shot. Well, what I was trying to do, man, was like, at that point, what you saw there, that trying to like, I guess, create a reel or whatever, like a reel that could be shipped out to different, companies or sports, programs and things of that nature. So we did that and had a good time. At the same time, you saw me. Try to tell the game the way I should tell it. But I was a total rookie though when I did it. Total rookie.
Yeah, and then you had some experiences with the school where you like a principal.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So what I've been doing basically, because I keep it diverse, when I can. But since I've retired from a lot of things, what I did was basically, I became an athletic director. Once I retired, in the summertime I would do basketball camps, and then in the fall, I'm saying, I would get into education because I had a degree. I have a degree in communications, film and broadcasting, and so I got into that, and then I also wanted to. I forgot what I was talking about.
You're talking about getting into the school, athletic director, all those things. I mean, I think we met for one time. We met up in New Jersey at the for dinner. It was me, you, Hugo, Gus, one of our lawyer friends, Jay, and another gentleman from ESPN. We were up there at the Cheesecake Factory. Remember we went out to dinner?
Yeah.
I mean,
I see Hugo a lot.
Oh yeah,
I see Hugo a lot. Yeah, he's he is he's working with us on the project, and so we we're in touch a lot. I don't see Jay much, but I spoke to him one day when Hugo was on the phone with him.
Yeah, he was battling. Jay has been battling with some health issues.
Correct.
Yeah, and I haven't. I might give him a call this week, man. See how he's doing. I spoke to him like a couple of weeks ago. You know, and then he's always pulling out his Polaroid camera, them little wind up cameras, to take some pictures. He got like his cell phone in one hand and a Polaroid in another hand. I was like, oh man, but that's my man Jay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what does it look like as we come to the close here? What does it look like? Look like you retired, man. You fully trying to fully retire.
Well, yeah, well, I coach kids, stay active. I guess you could say, yeah, brother.
Yeah. Oh man. So if you had to give a kid some advice today, right? If you had to give a young person some advice in regards to success, and particularly success as an athlete, a student athlete, what advice would you give them?
As a student athlete,
Yeah, like what would you?
They have to be just that. They have to be a student and an athlete. They have to be a student first, because the student is going to allow you to be the athlete that you want to be, or go to where you want to go, if you really love the sport and if you're really dedicated. So, you have to, that is the path they have to follow.
Yeah. And who when you think about it, can you give me one or two people that's had just a great impact in you becoming who you are today?
If anything, I would say, like spiritually, I would say the Most High. The Most High has made me who I am. Yesterday, today and tomorrow. Way I see it right now. That's spiritually. Like physically, my mom, my brother, my sisters. I have some coaches who played a part in my life. I have some teachers who played a part in my life. I've had some business people who's played a part in my life. Some friends who played a good part in my life, and some may have not. But and the list goes on and on and on. And I think the old saying, it takes a community, to raise a child. I think all those experiences with all those people, has helped me be who I am. Who I am today, basically.
Yeah, man, I appreciate this, man. Man, I'm gonna have to hit you up, man. Maybe this spring or summer, man. We're gonna have to get together.
Golf, the golf thing.
Anything. I mean,
no, I'm saying, okay. I
play golf.
I thought you were part of a golf like tournament or something like that. No.
Oh, when I had the Boys and Girls Club, man. Always been. I used to invite people to come to the different golf things, and who was the ESPN? What was the Jimmy V golf fundraiser they have every year here in the area? What's the gentleman who passed to cancer? The blind guy, I forgot his name again. They got a foundation for him now. He used to do ESPN. They have a golf outing for him as well up here in Westchester. But just getting together, having lunch, or you go play golf or whatever. Yeah. You know, you can't call Hugo to play golf, man. Oh, Stuart, my wife says Stuart Scott. They have a Stuart Scott Foundation now.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. They have that. You know, yeah. And so Hugo can't play golf, man. So he can't play golf, man. But you know, he could eat though. So so Tony, I want to thank you, man, for jumping on here with me. Appreciate it.
Lowe's, no problem, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Keep up the good work, man. And I'll holler at you later.
All right.
I'll be in touch. So to each and every one of you out there, thank you for joining me again tonight on the Blueprint Podcast, man. I do appreciate your support each and every week. And if you don't mind, please don't forget, right? If you're on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button and the like button. If you like it and you want to subscribe, please do that for me. Be greatly appreciated. And again, man, this has been awesome. I look forward to seeing you next week. Right, next week, you know, we're gonna have another guest on next week, and it's gonna be awesome. And I think I got coming up next week. I got I got Kevin Jones. Used to play at Marvin High School. Used to play at West Virginia University, right? And now he's playing in Japan. So I got him live from Japan in a couple of weeks, right? And then I have Marvin. I think it's Marvin McDonald, right? Coming on. He has a program called Black Diamonds. So look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you. And remember, I always say each and every week, if God allows you to wake up tomorrow, make tomorrow your masterpiece. I love you guys, and have a good evening.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.